Hey guys, welcome to a live stream. Single player Arc settings. Outback Dave is going to run through some settings for you. First, let me get rid of that music. It's a bit annoying. So, what I'm going to be going through is the single player settings. I've decided to have a back into Arc a little bit, single player. So I thought I'd do a live stream, which means any stuff ups, you'll all know about it. No retakes. Okay, so let me get rid of that music. It's really annoying me. I'll turn it off, I think. There we go. Okay, so the settings I've got going are as follows. Typically level 1.0, which means high levels are going to be spawning on the map. Whichever map, except Ireland seems to have a problem spawning high level dinos. But that's at I think it's 0.2 as default. Anything above 1 will reset it. 1.0 will reset it back to default. So don't, if you're not getting high level dino spawning, especially on the island, don't worry, because the island doesn't even spawn high level dinos. There's always been a problem with it. So my settings are running damage 1.2, which is 0.2 higher than the default. If you want to know, there's a few tutorials out there and so forth for single player settings. So I just thought I'd do my own live to show you what settings I run. Half the people know what they're talking about, half the people don't. So I'm kind of half-half. I half know what I'm talking about and I half don't. At least I'm honest. So if you got any issues, single player, are these actually running? These settings can be used in multiplayer also. But if you got any issues, single player settings, just give us a holler and we'll try and sort you out. So basically I'm running my damaged. My dinos are going to be higher level, so I'm running a little bit extra for my single player game. These settings can be done on any console, except when I go into I&I, obviously. Not sure the PS4 can. do crossplay settings. I don't know too much about that, but so the structure resistant, all that damage, it's going at 1.2, which is a little bit 0.2 higher than the default. XP multiplier I've got going at 2.0 times 2. Taming speeds times 10, which is single player, so don't want to wait too long for a tame. That's why it's single player. Just set it up the way you want it. Dino harvest damage I just leave as is. That's when the dino's doing damage to a tree or a rock or whatever. Harvest amount's 4.0, which I just might change that to 3. So 3 times the harvest amount than a normal game. So I've got the character water drain. I run it at 0.4, which is slower than the default. 0.6 for the stamina drain. Again, default's 1. Health recovery, I'm running at 2.0, which is twice the recovery time. Because again, I don't want to be waiting around to recover. It's only twice the speed, so it's not going to boost it by that much. If you get attacked by a Rex or something, you're going to die. Player harvest damage, which is 0.2, which means if you're attacking a tree or a rock, which means you're going to do 0.2 damage, and then official 1.0. Because my harvest amount's up, I don't want to sit there attacking the tree, and it takes the same amount of damage as the default harvest, which means you get 3 times, I think I put, harvest 3 times as much, which means the tree's not going to stand as long. So I just might chuck that up to 0.3 actually. Dino count 1.1, default's 1. So if I wouldn't worry. I like run at 1.1, it gives a little bit more dinos, but this is each spawn position. So if you're going to jack that up, each spawn location, which has multiple spawn locations, dinos will spawn. So you don't want to play with that too much, unless you want your map full of dinos. This is only whether you got a system hosting. If you're the host, don't worry about that. All those settings, don't worry about them. Don't have to worry about that. It's already ticked, some just leave it. Enable crosshair. Okay, you have attachments for your weapons you can make. Some people use the attachments, some people don't. So it's each to their own, man. I like the crosshair. Some people don't like the crosshair and like making the attachments, but either way, each to their own. Don't worry about that. PvE mode, I don't tick that because it mucks with my INI settings. Show map player locations, which that's another one people get repeat about some people use it, some people don't because they think it makes the GPS useless. If you um, click on the map and it shows you a triangle of or arrow of where the player is, but it actually doesn't give the GPS coordinates. So the exact location, you need a GPS. Show player location only shows you an arrow of the area the player is. So each to their own. I prefer to use it. Some people don't. Everybody's different. No downloads. Don't worry about that stuff. Maximum difficulty. Tick that one. PV gamma, it's already ticked, so I don't worry about it. I'll just leave it. Use single player settings. Now that one also mucks with me INI settings, so I don't worry about that. Use corpse locator, so that's if you die. Green, like a drop symbol, flies up to the sky, and you'll be able to see where you last died. Disable placement collision. I tick that. So just in case you want to up to a rock wall or something, or put foundations in foundations, it'll let you. Allow multiple floors. Yep. Recipes. Leave that. Leave that. Allow flyers leveling. The speed, which means it's like classic flyers. Remember years ago they took out being able to level Petrodons and stuff like that. Flyers, they took it out. Everybody was pissed. Well, they've actually gave you the option wherever you can add that back in or not, which is good. Some people on PC use classic flyers. PvE timer, you don't have to worry about that. Don't worry about that. Not unless you use it, but don't worry about it. Allow cave building PvE, yep. Fly carry, yep. That just allows your flyer to carry in PvE. Structure prevention volumes, don't worry about that, that's ticked. That's PvE if you're hosting your own server, so you don't worry about that. Permanent diseases, I don't want permanent diseases, so I'll tick that. Allow cave flyers, which means you can allow unofficial, they won't let you fly flyers into caves and crap. So single player, you got the option. Dino decay, don't worry about that. Don't really have to worry about structure platform. Respawn intervals, don't have to worry about that. Ray protection, it's all like hosting. Worry about that. Pip interval I've put at 1.1 because when I do my fertilizer, collected the poop, I want it just that 1.1 bit faster. Same with eggs. When I set up my hatchery, I want the eggs 1.2, so just above default. Mating 0.04, which will only take, once you make dinos, it'll only take a few minutes, couple of minutes or whatever, so you can remate them again, which is good because you don't want to wait hours or 24 hours before you remate certain dinos. Egg hatch speed 60. I don't want to sit there all day waiting for eggs to hatch, so I've put that at 60. baby speed, I put that at 32, it dropped to 31,997. So this is technical one, which is 31. I'll come back to that. Baby food consumption, I'll leave that. Harvest health, leave that. Resource respawn period, 0.7, which is, say I'm going to get metal from a node and I clean out the metal. I go back to the base, empty the metal, and it'll take, instead of 1 being a default, I'm not sure if it's like, or say for argument's sake, say 1 is 10 minutes, so it'll take 10 minutes for the node to reappear. It's 0.7, so it'll only take 7 minutes for the node to reappear. Now we've got the baby interval multiplier is 0.5, 0.05, coincides with the mature speed. So in just about every dyno we'll get 100% imprint if you run your setting at 31,997 and cut multiplier by 0.5. The grace period is 7.0, which gives you multiple grace period if you're waiting to get something to do the imprint. Lose imprint, that's at default, so you don't want to lose imprint, leave it at default. The baby imprinting stat scale, okay, each imprinting, when you imprint it, it'll go up 0.5. So 1 being default, 0.5 is the extra I've added. Daytime cycle speed, which stays at normal, which is 1. That's the cycle speed of night and day. Daytime speed is 0.7, which means the days are going to be a little bit longer. And you can see the nighttime speed's at 2.0, which means the nights are going to be a bit quicker. I don't like nights. Spawning time, I'm going to leave that on default. Corpse depression time default. Leave all that on default. The crop speed I put on 4, which is 4 times faster than the normal speed. And the crop decay delay is 0.6. So the decay speed is 0.6. Wild dino stats per level, that's on default. Tame dino stats per level, default. Add per level, I've added 0.5 to the food. And weight, I've added double the amount. Tame dino stats, that's on default. Player stats 2.5. The weight's 4.2. So each level you pump in, it goes up 2.5 times your default. Your default speed, and the weight goes up 4.5 times 4.5 default. Experience multipliers, I've put that up by 2. Maximum experience points, so that's if you add extra levels, that would change. I'll do that in another video when I add extra levels. Flyer platform unaligned, I've got that ticked. only allows specified in grams, unticked. Shows floating text damage, so when you shoot darts or when you attack another dino, it'll show up a green text on how much damage you're actually doing to the dino. Allow custom recipes, yep. And I've changed for the crafting bonus on 2. Supply crate loot quality is 5, which means I get good quality in my loot, which is the drops. Same with fishing, drops in the sea. The loot, when I go to it, it should be good quality. Fuel consumption is 2.6, which I think it works. The higher it is, the slower it burns. And the platform structure limit is on default, which I might change that. Engrams, I haven't touched any engrams. You just, if you don't want them to appear when you're playing, you just double click. But I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so we're going to start up Ragnarok with those settings we just done. Single player. Okay, we'll just create a survivor. Okay. So we'll do, we're just gonna add the experience just to see what kind of stats we're getting. So we just add a ridiculous amount of XP. We'll see. So health we got 25. Stem we've got 25. So remember I put it at 2.5, which is 25. So default say 10. Oxygen we've got 50. Food 25. Water should be the same. Weight should be 40. 45, 4.5 we put, so weight's 40. Should be 25. 12.5. Movement speeds. acting school. Wait. $45. That's some rocks here. The axe. So check out the taming side of things. Why isn't my controller working? I need some fibre. Make another bat. Gonna knock out a low level doo-doo. I'll just leave that go for a little while. chuck some berries in. It's already started. There we go. So that tame was on 10 times. So I'm at level 105. So the dinos, should have glass out to see. I might just GCM. So I can get a spyglass to have a look at some levels. So got a Bronto on 20. So as you can see, ordinary levels 15. Alright, so we're going to add some higher levels. So the dinos maxed out. Wild dinos spawn in at like around 300. Top's 300. So just go for a walk up this side just to see. So the max dino would be on the map would be 150, which is default. They're all there's a 145. So yeah, so if you want to know how to change the INI setting manually, so we can get high level 300 dinos, just drop me a comment or a like or whatnot, and I'll live stream the adding dinos so they max out at level 300 wild dinos. Right guys, that'll do for this video. Like I said, you want to know anything or you want me to do a live stream, some other settings, hit me up. Alright guys, until then, I'll talk to you later.